am standing at the threshold of my 50th birthday. Not today, 8 years ago. Now you know. I've just spent 3 years working at what I thought was going to be my dream job, my last job. And 2.5 of those, I was the executive director of a ballet youth development company. I loved it. It was my dream job. Then one day, the position was literally eliminated. They wanted to hire ballet instructors, which I am not, to teach the kids, and then piecemeal the executive director position. I was devastated. I thought that the Lord had brought me my dream job. Little did I know, right? So my baby was graduating from high school. My career in the dance world for what I thought was over, and I was scared to death. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do? I'm almost 50 years old. We're sitting on the couch. My husband says, "You should start a business." And I went, "Oh no, I've never started anything from scratch." He was like, "You can do it." I was like, "Why would anyone hire me? Everyone knows what I know, right?" And he was like, "No, babe, they don't know what you know." So I took a chance, a leap of faith, and I'm so glad I did. I'd never built anything from scratch, and my family was still rebuilding. We lost everything in the recession, and when I mean everything, I mean everything. So here's the pivot. All right, my husband, definitely the biggest cheerleader, and I took baby steps. He helped me incorporate, he helped me find a name, he helped me get a website, and he said, "Just keep going." So I decided I would do this the right way, and in my tiny town of Thomas County in Thomasville is where I started my business. Everybody wanted something from me, and they didn't feel like they needed to pay for it, right? So I got certified as a grant writer with the American Grant Writers Association, and I passed that test fully. I was scared to death again. So then I get my first client. My next door neighbor says, "Hey, Laura, would you research some grants for us?" And I'm like, yes, I will. You can pay me $50 an hour. And they did. Now, they didn't want me to write the grant, but I found the grant and I presented it to them. They pursued one of those 3 top grants and they got $80,000. That is life-changing for an agency. I was super proud. And I said, "Can you pay me?" And they did. They did pay me. That moment made me realize this wasn't a side gig. It wasn't just a passion project. It was a business. And I needed to act like it was a business. So my time, my knowledge, my experience were actually worth something. So that shift, owning my worth, gave me the confidence to say, I can do this. So we moved to Athens in 2018 as empty nesters, and I started connecting with the nonprofit community here, which is amazing. As a 1990 dog graduate, go dogs, it felt like coming home. I used to give money, and now I find money. It's awesome. So let's get to the grit. You've got to have it to survive as a woman entrepreneur. I want to try something. Just a short pause in our busy afternoon here. We've had some great speakers. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Think about one thing that sometimes gets in the way of your work. Not something bad, just something real, something that challenges your patience or shifts your focus away from what you're doing as an entrepreneur. All right, so I'm going to yell out what it is. Kids, baby. Okay. What? Time, yes. All right, for me, it's my granddaughter. My son and his daughter live with us. She's 3.5. I am so thankful for noise canceling earphones because I just want to jump out there with her all the time. That sound would pull me out of my office, but I've got to shift. I've got to focus. I'm a businesswoman, right? But here's what I've learned. Those interruptions aren't distractions. They're the rhythm changes in our life, right? They're not bad. We just have to learn how to make them flow into the everyday and do a little shuffle off to Buffalo or whatever it is you need to do, right? So we have to learn, if we have grit, how to adjust the tempo and keep dancing anyway. Now let's talk about grants. All right. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the phrase free money. Free money. I'll give it to you, free money. You don't have to do anything. It is a lie. There is no such thing as free money. Right, Kim? You know. Right, Shonda? Yes. Grants take work. They take patience and a lot more than just words on a sheet of paper. Or stats, even. One of my clients in New Mexico, the Fall Prevention Foundation, dedicated physical therapist, works with elderly. He and his son have a passion for making sure elderly people do not fall down in their own homes or in their care facilities. He built a rail system, which is not permanent. It can be moved, and very much like a ballet bar. It's so cool, it's so cool. Okay, and he contacted me. I swear we were on the phone for 2 hours. He had so much passion. We've been pursuing grants for a year, and they got a $20,000 local grant from Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico. Life-changing for his agency. And that's what stepping boldly looks like. Applying even when the outcome isn't certain, because no grant is guaranteed. But you've got to bring value in some way to the organization, even when you're rejected. And I think that's why I was a dancer, because you got a lot of rejection. All right. Federal funding is on pause or stopped. No one knows exactly what this landscape is going to look like in the future. But corporate and foundation programs are still active in funding real businesses. And I mean for-profit businesses, too. So, Hello Alice, Visa She's Next, I Fund Women, Cartier Women's Initiative, Amber Grant for Women. These are all for-profit grant opportunity agencies. Amber Grant is the only one that's legitimate. It does have a small fee. Otherwise, do not look at it, don't touch it, don't even side-eye it. You don't want to go there. It's not for real. If you're in the room and you've written a grant or hired someone to write a grant, raise your hand. A lot. Congratulations, because it's not easy. All right, that is proof that persistence does pay off. And remember, it takes heart, clarity, and consistent follow-through to bring an idea like Divas Who Win to life, like Encourage Her to life, like Ashton Hope Keegan to life, like Georgia High Low, which is a lofty goal. All right? It takes heart and consistency. So the takeaway in the mind shift is this. If you're standing at your own threshold right now, maybe wondering if you're ready for your next move, here's what I've learned. You only need 3 things to start: clarity, courage, and that consistency. You already have all 3 in yourself. Just be confident to do it. So don't wait until it's perfect, which is so funny because I wrote this before I knew the imperfect part was going to come out. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just start. Get the plan in motion. Overcome your fears. Surround yourself with people who are excellent, who are maybe even bringing things to the table that you would never have thought of, and be graceful about that. We rise faster when we have people around us that we can learn from. So in dance, we say 4 for nothing, 4 for nothing, 4 for nothing, and then we count 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we go. That's the cue right before the music begins. So this right now is your count in. Whatever your next move is, funding, growth, or something completely different, don't wait for the music to start. I'll count you down. 4 for nothing. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go. Thank you.